The Pokemon 25th year anniversary is still going strong, but do they have any more secrets in store for us? The most recent leaks show us that maybe, just maybe, we'll be getting a new game that none of us really saw coming. Let's talk Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, Unite, and much more. Let's break it down.
Butterfree, go!
Yo, whoa, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy Dan, aka A-Drive. I'm bringing you guys a brand new video today, and today we're diving into the world of Pokemon news here for the 25th year anniversary. Some brand new leaks have just surfaced on the internet that have given us some insight as to what the Pokemon company may be planning over the next couple months, and then we're going to talk a little bit about Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, Pokemon Unite, what the timeline looks for that, and everything else in between. As always, if you enjoy our news coverage videos, be sure to like the video down below and subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, as I do post Pokemon videos every single day. We've actually got some stuff coming up next week that you do not want to miss, so make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, if you like my awesome t-shirt, you guys can head to teamshiny.com. I've got a 3 t-shirt bundle available for just 60 bucks, or you can buy the shirts individually for the starter squad, 001, 004, and 007. Grab them now before you miss out. These shirts are honestly fire. I'm so pumped about them. But let's jump into the news, baby. We got some crazy stuff. So I'm gonna take you guys into a little bit of a time capsule. We're gonna go back to January 14th, prior to the announcement of Diamond and Pearl remakes and Pokemon Legends Arceus. Here we have this post from PokeExperto that talked about these various subdomain names being registered by Pokemon. You might be thinking, okay, so they made these URLs. Well, they don't do this just to do it, right? When they set up these subdomains, they do it, they register these different certificates. That way they have these domain names able when they make these announcements. So we saw that Diamond and Pearl and Legends were both registered prior to the announcement of those two games. Why does this matter? Well, Kelios, a very, very reputable source that we've seen from France, has actually posted that Pokemon actually has a curious subdomain. They do mention that they don't think it is related to Pokemon Stadium, but nonetheless, they have registered a domain name, stadium.admin-prod.pokemon.com. Now, could this be relating to a brand new Pokemon Stadium game? Maybe. We saw it with Legends, we saw it with Diamond and Pearl. Could this have something to do with the new Pokemon Stadium game? For those who don't know, Pokemon Stadium is a strategy video game that ultimately released in 1999, over 20 years ago, and it actually sold over 1 million copies by the end of 2000. Thus, they released Pokemon Stadium 2, which created another game that had the Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal franchise kind of intertwined as Generation 2, and then we really didn't see anything with Pokemon Stadium. So much like Pokemon Snap, we had this game that existed 20 years ago, plus they kind of ditch it. And is it possible that they're bringing it back? Well, time is going to tell on this one, but I wanted to put it on your radar because I've heard whisperings of Pokemon Stadium or a Pokemon Stadium-like game for actually like a couple years now in the rumor mill. It doesn't get as much attention as obviously the main series games and things like that, but this is something to keep your eyes and ears on because I think it's worth mentioning and worth noting as we move forward here over the coming weeks and months heading into a potential Pokemon Presents, which is what we're going to talk about next. Now, we know through Eclipse, another reputable rumor leaker, saying that they're working on localization right now for Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, talking about French, German, Italian, Spanish, Brazilian, Portuguese, and EU Spanish all included right now. What is localization, you may ask? That is when these teams from the different regions translate the game, make it native, so that way they don't lose out on dialect, they don't lose out on conversation, they don't lose out on those kind of things. This is a normal part of the process, so we can generally determine when localization is taking place because they hire kind of third-party contractors a lot of the time to do this kind of stuff. So it is pretty much at this point, Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl is most likely concluded for the most part in terms of the creation of the game. They may be working on bug fixes and things like that, but the core of the game is already done. Now they're translating it. So here we now look at what we've got going on in terms of a Pokemon Presents. It's been a little dry since our most recent bit of information. That was Pokemon Day, basically. They kind of really haven't given us much, which makes a lot of sense, right? Their news cycle was focused on new Pokemon Snap, which, by the way, an image posted on the internet that I thought was very interesting, kind of diverting off to Pokemon Snap. PokeExperto also posted this. I think it's really funny. Shroomish is in the background of this new Pokemon Snap image, which was an image from kind of the beta, and they removed Shroomish. So I thought that was a fun tidbit. I wanted to mention that. But ultimately, like I said, we haven't really had a lot of news because they were focusing on Pokemon Snap. Now we're past that. The marketing cycle for that is beyond us, or behind us rather. So now it is all about Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, and Pokemon Unite. And a lot of the insiders and people are speculating that we're going to get a Pokemon Presents or a new Pokemon presentation at early June, before E3. Now, E3 is set to take place on Saturday, June 12th, so a lot of people are speculating that Pokemon is going to be making their presentation before that, just about 2 weeks from today. And the reason why we expect that is because generally Pokemon has a history of releasing things before E3. They like to do their own stuff, their own presentations, as opposed to kind of having it thrown in E3, because then it kind of gets lost in the sauce of all the other games and franchises that are doing things. So definitely look to see something big for Pokemon over the next couple weeks. Now, I've got this interesting thread here from someone named Samus Hunter, who calls themselves a Nintendo Leak Insider. Now, again, we always want to take these with a grain of salt because these people may or may not be legit, but this seems to have gained quite a bit of traction. So they're reporting on the fact that basically many sites are talking about rumors about there's a presentation before E3, which this person says, I've already talked about this. They already talked about these details in private, so now I'm going to make them public. There's going to be 3 focal points of this presentation: Pokemon Unite, Diamond and Pearl remakes, and now Legends. They're also going to talk about little things like Pokemon Masters, which has some big updates, Cafe Mix, etc. The Pokemon's company's plans are to revitalize interest in Unite after it was poorly received by the public. I 100% believe this to be true. I think the Pokemon company needs to put a priority on making sure that when Unite drops, there's a good public perception. And now that I take a step and think about it, I was someone who really thought that Unite was going to be out by now. And now that I take a step and think about it, they really haven't done the marketing efforts to kind of retrain, re-influence their fan base about Pokemon Unite and how to feel about this game. So I do think that they will exactly this, have to take a moment to ensure that the fans are excited about the game before it comes out, because otherwise they're just going to be faced with a wave of negativity. And I truly believe when it comes to a game launch, you really only have one shot to make an impact, because it's very hard to make that impact months later, right? You can add things to the game, you can change things, but you'll never have that excitement of a player base as you would when you first launch a game. I think that most people would probably agree with that. So I think there will be some focus from Pokemon's end to ensure that they're communicating the proper messaging and get the fan base rallied around Unite. Whether that's going to work or not, I don't know, but many of you guys may remember last year Pokemon Unite was announced actually at the end of June, if I'm not mistaken, and a lot of people were very negative about that because we went into that presentation expecting a Gold and Silver remake because of the plushies that were actually in, I believe, Ishihara's office. So a lot of people got thrown off there. It sounds kind of funny that we were basing it off of plushies. I was sold on it myself, to be honest. You know, I really thought that was going to happen. Unite came out of left field. A lot of people were upset about it. Now they're going to release that soon. And I think coming out in June, end of June, with a release date announced for early June, I think, or they announced it early June for late June, I think that would make a lot of sense. Now we see Samus here also saying the remakes for Diamond and Pearl will begin to show the main differences from the originals with new forms for some Pokemon, the return of some mechanics that were abandoned in the new chapters, and there's going to be a mix of fidelity to the original game and novelty to attract old and new fans to the series. Despite complaints from players, even these titles will not have a national Pokedex, which I don't think any of us are expecting. I'm not expecting a national Pokedex, but the title aims at a single-player experience while embracing multiplayer and competitive soul of the series. Now that's going to be interesting to see. I'm not entirely sold that Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl is going to have the competitive format. I think that we're staying on Sword and Shield for another year. There's a lot of reasons to believe that. The fact that the World Championship is going to be still in London next year for 2022. We know that Legends Arceus, which we're going to talk about here in a second, is a single-player experience. So I'm not convinced that Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl is going to be kind of a multiplayer experience where you get online and battle people and things like that. Maybe you can, but I don't think it's going to be the focal point. Still holding out for new Megas, though. I'm really hoping for that. Then they go on to say Legends instead will be a title primarily single player. It's a project born thinking about how a title set in an open world that follows the philosophy of Breath of the Wild. It does not mean only at the level of setting, but also mechanics related to free exploration. Combat system is going to be simplified. Mechanics inherited from the titles of the main series, like Let's Go, is going to deepen it with new mechanics, mainly related to the trainer and the links with their Pokemon. And while for Diamond and Pearl, we'll have new information primarily on a monthly basis until the release, for Legends, we'll have the same level of marketing only after the release of the remakes. There will be some new Pokemon in those games. So this all makes a lot of sense to me, right? Now we're shifting marketing cycle to Pokemon Unite and Diamond and Pearl remakes. They're not going to talk a ton about Legends Arceus probably. They may give us a little something just to keep people on top of mind, but really from a marketing standpoint, their focus is going to be to promote the next game, which is Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, and Unite, which is separate and I think probably paid for a lot by Tencent's marketing dollars. I'm not convinced that they're using the same marketing budgets, to be perfectly honest. They probably have different situations going on there, which may change kind of the way that the information is kind of pushed out there. I do want to mention this other part that I think is really funny regarding Pokemon Unite. They had, the studio that's making it is called Timi, T-I-M-I Studio Group, and they had made a post. There's 2 posts, and I have a screenshot here of it. 2 separate posts. So one is a buddy of mine, Zionic, actually. He posts he's getting close to 100,000 subscribers. A buddy tags him and says, do you think you're gonna get 200K, or do you think Pokemon Unite is gonna release first? And, you know, I don't think, with no disrespect to Zaonic, he's probably at least a few months away, maybe a little longer from 200K, just as I'm probably months and months and months away from 900K. By the way, thanks for 800K, guys. So, you know, this is no shade on him, but Timmy says, seriously, he's got to hurry up, which is interesting. So that was kind of something very interesting, but again, I don't think that really tells us much, right? But then they go out, and here's the thing, this got a lot of people ruffled. They said, nothing is more exciting, this is the studio, nothing is more exciting than finalizing a reveal trailer of a franchise beloved for decades. So they post this, and the Pokemon fandom goes nuts, myself included, thinking, okay, this is it. They're finalizing the trailer for Pokemon Unite, and they're gonna release it. And then what was it? A faithful rendition to Metal Slug's classic arcade shoot 'em up. Play on the go, in your hands, and take a look at the upcoming Metal Slug game for mobile. That's what it was. So Timmy, you tweeted out that there's nothing more exciting than finalizing a reveal trailer of a franchise beloved for decades, and it's Metal Slug? I've never even heard of Metal Slug. You win the Troll Award for 2021 so far, so congratulations. Maybe it's the cicadas. Anyone live on the East Coast? Anyway, so that's what's going on. So we don't know what's going on with Unite in terms of release date, but I think we're gonna find out in a couple weeks. That's the full rundown of the Pokemon news for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, as always, hit that like button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. I definitely think we are headed really, really close to some news and information. This Coliseum domain thing is pretty interesting, and obviously I think that presentation is knocking on our doorstep very, very soon. Give it another 2 or 3 weeks. I think we'll be taking to Pokemon Town once again for the 25th year anniversary, which has felt a little dry lately. We'll see if they spice it up. Katy Perry dropped a music video. If you haven't seen it, I haven't. But either way, love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Pick up these awesome t-shirts, teamshiny.com, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.